Hello and welcome to Cosy Reads. I hope you've all been keeping well. In today's video, we'll be looking at a new set of stories. Now these are part of a storyline that I've been working on for a while, and these stories take elements from sci-fi and fantasy. So without further ado, let's dive in. In the beginning, when the universe was still infantile, there were beings known as the First Ones. Now no one knows where the First Ones originated, not even themselves. All they knew was to wander. They travelled across the universe. Sometimes the First One would run into another, but not much was exchanged, as they did not care much for anything other than to wander. These beings had no drive, no ambition, no dreams or goals. They just travelled, and things remained like this for a long time. That was until the shift. The shift came about when the oldest of the First Ones, a being whose name could be classified as Malakoth, changed. A spark had started in Malakoth, one that would resonate with all the First Ones and alter the course of existence. Malakoth had discovered interest. Malakoth had grown interested in the universe they inhabited. The darkness and the light, the shining gas balls that would later become known as stars, and the mostly spherical shaped orbs of matter that would become known as planets. Malakoth wanted to learn more about these things, where they came from, why they were so numerous and scattered. Malakoth wanted to know just how vast existence could be. And that was when Malakoth's purpose started to form. Malakoth would take it upon themselves to discover everything that they could. And it was from this pursuit of knowledge that Malakoth witnessed the first forms of life forming on those planets. Malakoth became extremely interested in the little life forms that inhabited these planets. Malakoth wanted to know where they came from and how they were formed, and why they were so much different to the First Ones, but also so similar. Malakoth had learned the fragility of these life forms. In trying to interact with them, Malakoth had inadvertently destroyed civilizations. However, the ones that survived came to see Malakoth as a god. They revered Malakoth as a benevolent being who could destroy them with one swipe if they angered him. And so the ancestor to worship and religion was born. And with each new civilization that worshipped Malakoth, a new form and interpretation for him was given, spawning varying religions and denominations. Malakoth enjoyed being praised by these smaller beings. It was cute to see what they'll do in Malakoth's name, and so Malakoth helped the ones that Malakoth liked, and destroyed the ones that they did not. Over time, Malakoth realized that the more of these little life forms praised and worshipped them, the stronger they became. However, this presented new issues. As Malakoth's interest in these beings grew along with their power, negative emotions started to seep in. Malakoth was changing. Malakoth now lusted for the power he was receiving. He came to covet it, becoming greedy at the thought of the other First Ones finding out about this. And with this greed, Malakoth became envious at the thought of his fellow First Ones discovering what he knew. Malakoth wanted it all to himself, and so anger and wrath grew as Malakoth became fixated on the idea of punishing those beings who did not worship him, and in becoming lazy and slothful with the beings who did worship him, no longer bringing them miracles for fear that they would become complacent and stop worshipping him. Malakoth had become gluttonous on the power he was receiving, and so interest, kindness and curiosity were replaced with pride and malevolence. A thought then started to form in Malakoth's mind. He no longer was content with knowing everything. Now he would have everything. But first, he would need to grow and consolidate his power. And so Malakoth set out, subjugating as many planets and civilizations as he could under his rule. This course of action would ultimately lead to true conflict between the First Ones. A conflict that would bring about a whole new change to existence as they knew it, sowing the seeds for a truly great evil. And that is the beginning of this series. With me still being relatively new to YouTube and wanting to try and get a bit of a more consistent upload schedule, I've decided for the time being it might be easier to go about with shorter uploads until I get into the groove of everything. But let me know what you think about the series. And if you're a big fan of fantasy, sci-fi, adventure stories, and you're looking for a new novel to sink your teeth in, well then feel free to check out my own novel called Regalion. It's on Amazon. The link will be in the description. It's essentially a story of the hero's journey with adventure themes, fantasy themes, weapons, myths, legends, all that kind of thing. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then feel free to check it out. And look forward to another chapter in the tale of the beginning coming soon. But until then, as always, I hope that you have been sufficiently warmed up and that this story has brought you some level of comfort. I wish you safe travels on the journey of life, and feel free to come back again when you need a new story to warm your day.